Tom Aspinall just dropped brand new sparring footage, and the MMA world, including Joe Rogan, is losing it. This isn't the same Tom we're used to seeing. He's switching stances, mixing levels, and showing a skill set that proves he's prepared for absolutely anything.
Here's a question with Aspinall. What happens with Aspinall in the second round? If you want to talk about a guy who sprints, you want to talk about a guy who's fast, one of the fastest heavyweights, he might be the fate in the history of the sport. I don't think anybody moves like that guy does. He beat everybody else's ass too. All the other heavyweights, ragdoll dudes way bigger than him. He's just a freak, and he is again the next the next advancement of the evolution of the sport.
How so?
Well, because he can do everything. That guy's got elite jiu-jitsu. He's got elite takedowns. His striking is outstanding. I mean, he knocked out Ciryl, who's the scariest striker in all of MMA, and he knocked him out in the first round. And the way he did it was just picture perfect. Like, I've seen a lot of heavyweight, even Francis, who's like the greatest, scariest power striker I've ever seen in the heavyweight division. No one's scarier than Francis. Francis does not move like Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is significantly faster than every other heavyweight. That's a real problem. At a 250 plus pound frame, his movement's extraordinary. And that's something you have to deal with. Like, that is a crazy ability. His ability to move, like the way he moves, is so much different than everybody else in the sport. He moves like a 175 pounder. He doesn't move like a 250 pound guy. Look how quickly he closes the distance, man. His hand speed and full range of skills. Incredible stand-up, knocks guys out with one punch, black belt in jiu-jitsu, really good wrestler, his everything, and he's young.
So what's your prediction if it happened?
It's hard to bet against John. It's hard to bet against John, but John's not a real heavyweight. John could make light heavyweight, 100%. He weighs 230 right now, maybe a little less than 230. There's no doubt in my mind that if John just changed his diet and went back, he hasn't put that much mass on.
For Tom Aspinall, you said you don't really care about the belts. You really want to prove you're the best. Is there any other fighter in the heavyweight division that you feel you need to beat to prove that you're the best, other than Ciryl Gane?
Yeah, there's lots of guys. Man, but I'm the kind of guy who doesn't look past my opponent. I'm very, very serious about this fight. I've been training for the last year without a break. I've had absolutely no breaks. I'm much better now than I was in my last fight, and I want to show that. But as far as other heavyweights and stuff, right now that doesn't really interest me. John Jones is retired, so I don't really have much to say on that, to be honest. So I'm fighting this guy, and this guy's really good, so I'll be as ready as I can be.
Imagine if Ciryl Gane beats Tom Aspinall. So it was announced that Tom's first title defense as the undisputed champion will be against former interim champ Ciryl Gane. And although me and many others are siding with Tom, we also can't forget that this is the heavyweight division and one shot could change it all. So imagine after everything that happened at heavyweight, Ciryl Gane captures the undisputed belt. But more importantly, how will that affect John Jones' legacy? Because you know that if Ciryl beats Tom, John will use MMA math to show everyone why he never had to fight Tom since he defeated Ciryl so easily. Even if Tom wins but has a tough time in doing it, John will still be at it. Personally, I don't think this changes the fact that John was ducking Tom as he saw him as a dangerous matchup. Well, what do you think?
Fans are calling this the confirmation of what many already believe. Tom Aspinall is going to run through Ciryl Gane in October. What makes this footage so special isn't just the power we all expect from Tom. It's the calm, calculated, and dangerously versatile way he's putting it all together. Smooth footwork, sharp range control, then sudden explosions of speed and power. It screams total preparation. Joe Rogan has said it before. Tom is a heavyweight unlike any we've seen. Fast, precise, intelligent, and now, clearly evolving every day. But how does that stack up against Ciryl Gane's unique style?
Aspinall versus Gane is a massive transitional fight for the heavyweight division. What happens after it? I liked the idea of Alex versus Tom right now. You want to know what another interesting fight is? Alex versus Ciryl. Alex is not going to beat Goliath. But we got Alex to light heavyweight in the first place by getting him beat. I believe Alex is in that spot right now. I'm bringing all of this to your attention because right now there's one thing for John Jones to do, and that is Tom Aspinall. Regardless of what happens between Ciryl and Tom, if Alex were to move up and beat them, you've now created an opportunity for Alex versus John, and that does work. John versus Tom is the fight, but Alex versus John is the next.
That's already a sick fight card. Obviously, with Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane, Jailton Almeida and Volkov being the the co-main event, if they are, just being on the fight card, they're going to be a backup fighter if anything happens to the main event. What's your thoughts on Volkov versus Gane? Gone. Sorry, Aspinall versus Gane.
I think it's the next best thing that we could get right now with John Jones not being able to do it and stepping away. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what Tom's plan is going to be, because I think on the feet, they're pretty evenly matched. I think it could be fun on the feet, but I think there's definitely a huge advantage for Aspinall when it comes to the wrestling and the grappling. And I think he'd be silly to not at least attempt to make it a bit of a grappling match and try to get the ground and pound, take him down. And we'll see. If he can defend takedowns, it could be a lot of fun. But if not, I think Tom can make some quick work. But there's a lot of pressure on Tom, man. We were talking about it on the pre-show this weekend that, you didn't get the Jones fight. You waited all this time, and now you've got to fight somebody else. And it's always tough because you want to win that one to really prove to everybody that, yeah, you are that guy. You are the great. You are the best. You're the reason John didn't want to take this fight, blah, blah, blah. If you go and lose that one, you just...
Yeah. Well, we haven't had guests on for a little bit because I've just been all over the place and very, very busy and all the rest of it. So I'll reach out to Tom and see if we can get him on next week, and we'll start getting some guests on again. Tom isn't the type of guy that talks shit usually, but he did do a video where he was talking a little bit of shit about Ciryl Gane, saying that he wanted to fight Ciryl.
Ciryl Gane is known for his movement, his kickboxing foundation, and his ability to stay elusive in the cage. He frustrates opponents with footwork and counters, but Tom's speed and explosiveness could neutralize all of that the moment he closes distance. If he brings in his wrestling and brutal ground and pound, many believe Gane could be in serious trouble. Just look at Gane's fight against John Jones. It exposed how vulnerable he can be against elite grapplers.
Fighting, so you can understand a little bit of shit talk there in Tom's nice, kind of respectful fashion without, lowering himself and losing his temper and just using facts to talk shit realistically. And he was in Paris, by the way, because I met up with him and his dad. But he fought Ngannou for the belt. Then he fought Jones for the belt. And now he's fighting Tom for the belt. He's certainly getting the opportunities.
Yeah, and Tom's right. If Ciryl goes out there and loses to Tom this time around, it's tough, as we know, to go and get that fourth title shot after something like this when you've dropped them like that. It's definitely a must-win situation if he wants to be the champion. Now, it's not a must-win situation in terms of his career. He's not going anywhere as long as he wants to fight. But if you want to be champ, man, especially with a guy like Tom, where you don't beat him now, there's probably not a good chance that you're going to be getting back to that one anytime soon.
Well, in terms of the matchup, they're both big men, similar sizes. They're both athletic, very athletic. They're fast, the pair of them. They're both very coordinated. I think if I had to give an advantage to Ciryl, it'd be in the, maybe in the movement. Maybe he's a little slicker on the feet, but he's not as powerful as Tom. And Tom's certainly slick, as we know. But the wrestling, the grappling side of things, it's not even a conversation. It's not a conversation. So. Tom should be able to take him down if he chooses to. So if Ciryl Gane isn't training in Dagestan for 2-3 months, years, days, weeks,
or Arkansas.
Or Arkansas, brother.
Yeah, he's just go down there with brass.
Get up there with brass. If he's not just solely working on his grappling, then he's a fool. Yeah. And by the way, Tom's probably got bigger power.
Nadia from Stand 'Em Up. Got a question for Tom Aspinall. Tom, obviously you have defended your interim title once already. Do you feel like this is your second title defense, or is the interim belt and the actual belt different for you?
To be honest, I don't really care about belts and stuff. I just care about my next fight. Cyryl's my next fight. He's the guy I'm focused on. This fight's been simmering for a long time, do you know what I mean? We've been talking about this fight for a long time, so I'm just ready to fight this guy already. And take him out.
The easy thing would be to try to take Ciryl to the ground. Is it obviously going to be the game plan, or are you going to try to strike with Ciryl?
I think if I hit anybody, I can knock anybody out. And I think that Ciryl is no exception, but obviously there are some weaknesses in his ground game that we've seen. I'm sure he's improved. I'm sure we'll both be ready for anything.
And that's the real danger. Tom doesn't just strike or wrestle, he blends it all seamlessly. That's why so many believe he's destined to rule the division for years. This sparring footage proves he's not underestimating Gane. He's preparing for every scenario. Whether it's a stand-up chess match, a wrestling grind, or a full-on ground war, Tom is ready. That's what champions do. That's what makes him terrifying. Right now, the heavyweight division feels like it's already his. With this level of preparation and versatility, many see Tom not just beating Ciryl Gane, but cementing himself as the most dominant heavyweight of his era. The only question left: can Gane survive the storm?